Hi guys, Milo here. This is a short tutorial on Krpano. Um, I just want to show how you can use it even if you don't know how to code. Common misconception is you have to be a hard code programmer just to be able to use it. But uh, as I will show you is it has tools where you can use it right out of the box even if you don't know any coding. So let's get right at it. So go to krpano.com, download this file here, or depends on where you are, what this operating system you're using. So I'm using Windows, so I downloaded this. So I already had it downloaded, so it's on my computer now. But this is the license that I have, this one. So basically, this license shows this. So if it's not an issue to you, then you can buy this license. But if you want to remove that, you'd have to buy this one here. So so after downloading, just extract it to anywhere you want to place it. So while waiting, I'm just gonna open my equirectangular images. So I already have images ready to use for the virtual tour. So these are shot with the Sony A7. So this could be images from Orico Theta or other one-shot 360 cameras. So I'm gonna be using 4 images. The size of this is 6000 by 3000 pixels. So how, after extraction, this is what you'll see. So you're gonna need to open this Krpano tools here, or this one, but yeah, let's just use this. What we do now, we drag these images here. Um, I already have my license information here, so it doesn't complain that I don't have a license. So yeah, as you can see, I had this since 2011. I'm old. Let's drag the equirectangular images to make Vtor tab. But before that, let's make sure this is under multi-res. So what these configuration files do is basically you can choose if you want your virtual tour to be multi-res or normal. Normal uses cube faces. Um, I always use multi-res, so maybe we'll not go into this anymore. But maybe I'll show you later what this does. But for now, let's use multi-res. So you drag it, it starts generating files. Um, it's gonna create a VTour folder where you drag the images from. So let's wait a bit. So after it's done, you're gonna see this is the structure of Krpano. So you have a panos folder where the images are in, plugins, and skin. Actually, if we close this, we already have a virtual tour. You just need to run this file here, exe file here, because the thing is you can't open an HTML file directly through the browser. It's gonna have complaints about security. So yeah, that's what's it's gonna say if you try to open the HTML file. So in order to play this virtual tour, you need to run this exe file here. So what it does is it creates, I think, a mini web server. So you this when you double click that, it's gonna open this console here, and automatically a tab will open with the IP address. So if you close this, you need to have this always open. or else this is not gonna work. So if I close this and refresh, that's not gonna work. So I have to restart it again. So yeah, we already have a virtual tour, but yeah, it's not much. So we're gonna add some hotspots and modify this a bit. How do we do that? So I'm gonna close this first, and so go back to Krpano and open the tools file again, and go to VTour editor and go back to the VTour folder and drag the XML file here. So this is where we can edit the virtual tour. First thing I do is I set the startup view. Basically, that's where the scene will start when you change scenes. Like this starts at the bed, looking at the painting. I want now to look at the bed, so I just click this, and here, start here, start here. So actually, this doesn't do anything yet. I need to save tour. So when I click tour, save tour.xml, it creates a backup. So what it basically does is it just does the coding for you. So if I compare these files, you'll see that the values of the look at were changed, but you didn't do any coding, right? So that's what it does. Edits this file for you. So let's add hotspots. How do we do that? So here, just click add hotspot. This is the default hotspot. You can change this in the future. For now, let's just use that. Add another one going down the stairs, going to the living area. Let's add another one here that goes to the other unit, and one going up, one going down again, and another going to back to the other unit. So if I save this again, it creates another backup. So if I compare it the latest file with this file, the first one, you'll see that it added hotspots here. These are the hotspots. So actually, that's the only use I have for this editor. I can already close this, and then I could open the tour testing server again just to be able to see it in the browser. And this is where I adjust the values here in the XML. So I can delete this because this is just a backup file. I'm gonna open this in any text editor, the XML file. So an XML file is just a standard text file which you can open using any text editor. So I prefer using Sublime. So let's see, open it here. So this can seem a bit daunting, but it's not that complicated. You just have to change these values to true or false. So let's start. Okay, so this is a virtual tour right now. I don't like having the cardboard mode appear by default. Well, I really don't see the use of it if you're browsing via the web or mobile, because I don't I don't think everyone's gonna have a cardboard, so I disable that. So to do that, you just change this to false, and that's gonna disappear. What I also like is having these thumbs open, so I'm just gonna change this to thumbs open to true, and you already have this opened by default. Yeah, I guess we'll just run through this from top to bottom. So what does this do? It has Krpano as an option to show a map. So if I change this to true, it's gonna have a button here with it shows a map. But you're gonna it's kind of complex because you need a API key, and you're gonna have to set latitude longitudes here. So I'll probably do this on a different video. So for now, I'll just change this to false. Um, Gyro is the mode where when your phone moves, the virtual tour moves with it. So you won't see it here unless we switch to a phone, but I think the icon appears here. So I just turn this off. I don't really like that feature because I like being able to move the virtual tour with my fingers because I guess I'm lazy. I don't want to turn around just to navigate the virtual tour. Um, Auto tour, what this does is if you set this to true, it just auto rotates. So it's gonna start auto rotating. So yeah, that's what it does. However, you can do this and configure it. There's a different way to do it. I think this is a new feature on the latest release. So let's just change that back to false. Little Planet intro. If you want to start from a Little Planet view, so I don't really like that feature, so I set this to false. This one here follows your mouse a bit while moving it, but just by a bit. So you still have to drag around, but it does follow your mouse. But yeah, you can keep that true. Title. So this is the title. This it comes from this. So this could be the client name or ano the unit type. So let's say I don't know, client name. So the one here comes from the title of the scene. So these parts here, they represent the scene. So we have four scenes, and this block, there are four blocks here. So if I just change this, it will reflect on the virtual tours. This could be living room, could be bedroom, and just refresh. You just see living room, and you go there, you should see bedroom. So yeah, I'll just do it here as well. So when you switch, you can the names are already correct. What else? So you can also adjust the sizes of these thumbnails. So if I wanted it bigger, or if I wanted it wider, I changed the width, and taller, just change the height. But you'll notice this gets distorted depending on the values you put. Um, so it has something to do with this, but I'll show that later. Padding is this part here. So if I change this to 20, it's gonna be bigger. So 10. Um, so let's bring it back to the old values. So let's say I change this to 120. This is gonna look distorted, and I'm gonna explain why. So it looks weird, right? Because it has something to do with this. So what are these thumbs crop? So whenever we did the thing a while ago where we did set startup view, Krpano changes overrides the images that are here. So this file here. So let's try that again just to show you what happens. So let's drag tour XML again here. Um, so take a look at this file. So let's say I change this to this table, and I say set startup view. So this is gonna get edited. You gotta get overridden. So can I save now? Close this. Go back to here. So it's gonna start here. So the crop is just, what does the crop do? So if you can see, this is XY with height. So in order to show you what that is, I'm gonna open this in Photoshop. So this image is 240 by 240 pixels. So it says 0, 40, 240, 160. So if I try to crop it, this is 240 with wide and 160 pixels height. 160. But the Y is 40, which means it started somewhere here. So that is how the cropping works. So this is the image that should be here, sort of. Is it the same? I think it's the same. So if you want to change the cropping, like you want to start from the top, is the right file? Yeah, if I do 0, these are all gonna change. So it started from the top now, like this. It did this. So anyway, yeah, I don't think you're gonna change those anyway. Well, if you make this square, you're gonna probably have to change this. Let's try that because it's gonna look weird. So you're gonna have to adjust this to 240, so it won't get distorted. So it's now square, or maybe smaller value, 120, 120. Yeah, it started from the top left. So okay, what else? Thumbs open. This is already true. Thumbs text. If you want the name of the scene here, I just set this to true. If I want to disable this dragging behavior here, I just set this to false. So it's no longer draggable, but I prefer to have it draggable. Thumbs on hover scrolling. So if you set this to true and you have many scenes, if I hover my mouse here, it moves. So I'm not clicking, it's moving on its own. But if I set this to false, it doesn't do that. See? Scroll buttons. If I set this to true, a right arrow button will appear here. Scroll indicator, I don't like that, so I keep it to false. But I always turn this on, scroll indicator. So you notice that line at the bottom, so just indicates where you are. Just shows that there are other thumbnails in this set. Thumbs loop, if you want the scene to change, if you're in the last scene, to go to the first, like I'm already the last, this goes to the first, and the first scene can go to the last scene if you click previews. I really don't turn this on, so false. If I want a tooltips on the buttons, oh, I'm sorry, this one I don't understand what it's for. It doesn't do anything when I change it. But this one here, if I set this to true, when I hover over the thumbnails, I see the name of the scenes. This one, if I change it to true, when I hover over the hotspots, I'll see some text. I see that it now says living room. If this is false, you won't see that. Map spots, this is related to maps, so this is not applicable to us. Deep linking, you set this to true if you want like separate links for each scene. So let's say you want to start here and want this shareable, so if I open new tab, use this link, then it starts here. So that's deep linking. But yeah, the URL looks funny. I'm just gonna set this to false. Load scene flags. You won't really need this, but I guess an example is, let's say we had a scene where it's the living room and it's night and day, and we want to keep the view where the user is looking. Hmm, we set, you can change this to, you can add keep view. I don't know why I know this. I just through the years of using Krpano. But I'll just show an example. So I'm gonna repeat this scene. Don't worry, you won't need to do this. So let's say we have two scenes. I'm sorry, scene 2, 1A. So I just repeated the scene, the living room scene. And let's say I change this to keep view. So what this means, if I look at the bed and I change here, it's still gonna be looking at the bed because it's keep view. But if I remove this, it's gonna start at the startup view always. So just imagine this is a day shot and a night shot, and if we keep view, so let's say I'm in the day and I look at the bed, this becomes night and it keeps the view where the user is looking at. So that's the only use I see for this, but there's probably other uses. So for now, I'll just remove that and delete this extra scene that I created. What else? This is the load transition effects. We can see those here. So these are all the Krpano like blending modes. So let's say you want to use something else, then you can actually find this here on this XML. So this is a bit of coding, but it's just a replace. So let's say we want to do a top to bottom. I just replace this here with the one from here. So if I refresh here, it's gonna be top to bottom. And these two here, it's just for this animation for these buttons. So let's say I want to change everything to top to bottom. So if you click next, next, it's gonna be top to bottom now. And I click, well, since I haven't changed this, if I do a previous, it still does the previous effect. But if I change this too, then everything's gonna be consistent. Loading text, you won't notice it, but when you load this, text here appears. It's running locally now, so you won't see it. But I think the default is loading, so maybe you can change it to something else, something like that. Um, I don't think I'll show that anymore. But if you upload this somewhere, you will see that. Layout width. So here it says 814. So if you measure this in pixels, this is 814. So let's say I want it always to take the width of the browser. I just change this to 100%. See? So if you have a big tour, you're gonna want this occupying the entire space. Control width, I'm not sure what this is for, and I'm not sure why it's the negative value, but this one here is the height of this bar here. You can increase it, say 50 or 500. Boom. So yeah, that's what it does. Offset, control bar offset is the space here at the bottom. You could change this to 0 and it will be sticking at the bottom. This one is the offset when you click this. So right now it has -40. Let's try to do 0 so it won't hide at all. Oh yeah, it you're gonna still see the title. If we do 20, it's gonna hide in by half. So something like that. So negative 40. If you do negative 400, this is gonna be fast because it's gonna slide by a lot in uh in in in, in a quick duration. Anyway, I'm not sure what these are. This just points to the image file that contains the icons. So if you look at it, you'll see it here. So you can actually edit this and make your own set. Opening it in Photoshop, it's taking a while. So yeah, so you can customize your icons. So just put a dark background so you can see. This is the gyro icon I mentioned a while ago. So basically, you can change the arrows or any icon there. So let's say you created another version, then you can change it here, like mine or something, or just override that image. This one is the color of this panel here. So if I wanted black, the code for that is 00. So what is this? This is a hex code. So uh, so yeah, just if you want violet, then just put that here. You need the 0x. That's a requirement. So this is the opacity of this panel here. So if I make this one, that means this is no longer transparent. This is 50% transparent, 0.5. Back BG border, it's gonna put a line here. So let's say 5. BG round edge, gonna make the edges round. So let's change that to 4. There is a shadow here if you notice. So this is what that value is for. I'm just gonna try to change it to red and not make it opaque, and you will see the red. So it's very subtle. I normally don't do anything with that. This one here is the border for this. So again, you can change it to red. Or make it, this one here makes it round edge. And this one here has something to do with the placement of this border. So if I do 10 here, there's gonna be some space there. So yeah, I'm not sure why you would change that. And this here is the global styling for the text. So FFFF is white. So if I wanted to change the color of the text, I just change this. Let's say red again. Then there's gonna be red now. So this is for the text shadow. If I do 0 here, you'll notice that there's no text shadow here anymore. If I bring it back here, you'll notice there's a shadow. So yeah, that's basically it for like being able to create a virtual tour using the default skin. Oh wait, I'm sorry, something else I need to show you. I'm just gonna try to bring this back to the defaults. So you have a tour, but Krpano offers other skins, which is right here. You just, in order to use it, you just need to comment it out, meaning you have to delete this brackets here. In XML, what these do, they're comments. So if you do this, anything here is a comment. So it doesn't affect the tour. So once I uncommented this part out, it's gonna use the flat theme. See, the icons changed. Um, if we want to try the next, I just comment this one back and remove the comment on the next. This one is glass. So, and this one ultralight. I'm not sure how it looks like. Oh yeah, this is the one I used before. The minimalist one. This one is from the old Krpano version 1.17. That's why it's 117. And this one is, I think, almost same as that one with just round edges. And this one is the black one. So there you have it. You have a virtual tour. So how do you use this? So I guess your question now is, so there you can modify this to like crazy extents, but these files here you can already give to your client because they just need to run this. If they need it offline, they're just gonna run this on their computer. But let's say you want to put it somewhere like on a website, then I'm just gonna zip this. You don't need this for uploading to a website. You just zip these guys. So I'm gonna upload it to my web host. So I host in HostGator. This is my hosting. So this could be anywhere. So I'm just gonna try to access my web host. I'm gonna pause this for now. So this is the dashboard of my hosting. So this is where I host my business site called excite360.com. And HostGator is using cPanel. cPanel is it's a standard what do you call this? UI for managing your website. So most hosting platforms have this. I mean the shared ones, like the not hardcore hosting sites. So yeah, I just upload it somewhere. So let's say I have a new client. I have a virtual tours folder. So these are the other sites that I host because I'm on a plan where I could upload unlimited domains. So this is the virtual tours folder where I put all my projects in. Let's say I put a new client. I just upload the zip and unzip it. So I'm just gonna pause this until it's uploaded. So it's just finished uploading. So 100%. And here, go back. I refresh this. So and I extract. I just realized I keep saying so. I delete this because we no longer need it. I will try to access it by browser. And there you have it. You have a virtual tour hosted on your web host. You can send these files as well, the one that you zip, to your client if they want to host on their website. Um, that's it. I'm, I hope this is part one of a bigger tour, bigger tutorial. I just wanted to show that you can use Krpano if you even if you didn't know how to code. So that's it. That's it till the next tutorial, I guess. Bye bye.